Good hook, not going to get past Zimmerman. Zimmerman going to sweep the weekend in Missouri. 328.96. Good enough for the number 2 spot. He'll go number 2. Leland Zimmerman, X15, number 1. Brent Roberts back on track, number 3. And Larry Roberts goes number 4. Folks, give a round of applause to our Limited Pro Semi-Truck class. $10,000-pound pro stock tractors coming up next, sponsored by Weimer Fuel Injection and Turbo. Made the USA. In Platte City, Missouri. Used to be driven by Jason Hill. This is Adam Kincaid. Comes out of Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. There we go. Hill Brothers sponsored Dodge out of Kentucky, Adam Kincaid. Yeah, got a nice hook. Nice hook for Adam Kincaid. 331.34. All right, we got another vehicle needs to be moved. What kind is it here? Mini Cooper. There's those Mini Coopers again. License plate number EG8T2F.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday night. You know what that means. Outlawed live at 7 p.m. with myself, Ron Stone, and co-host Michael Idle, and sometimes co-host Jason Schultz. How we doing, feller?
Fantastic. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
This is Platte City, Missouri, guys. This past summer, 2023, 3.0 diesel trucks. So just going to leave this playing, no sound. But you can subscribe to outlawpulling.tv for $39.95 a month, and you can watch everything. It's the best deal out there. So for those of you that want to watch some videos.
Jason, we'll be back there again this year, this time with 2 sleds, 2 tracks. There at Platte City, more classes on 2 tracks there. So an even bigger show than than 2023. So just confirmed that last night as the Platte City.
Yeah, how's that schedule coming there, Mr. Stone?
Well, the schedule is we're hoping to have the final rendition of this schedule out by April 1st. There, of course, are still a few loose ends to tie up, guys, but we're getting closer here. I believe Washington, Missouri is coming on this year for a Friday night show. We'll be co-sanctioning with the ITPA, and I think Excalibur will have some classes there as well. The ITPA being the Illinois Tractor Pullers Association. That's going to be August the 9th, which is also the same date as West Point, Nebraska. And then on the 10th, we'll be in Macon, Missouri. So it'll be a nice little place for the guys to go pull and the modifieds, the two-wheel drives, pro stocks, and then head on over to Macon on Saturday night. The semis will stay in Washington for the weekend. Though the limited pro stock semis will be there August 9th and 10th, co-sanctioning with the Illinois Tractor Pulling Association. Mike, have I left you speechless? Are you guys good?
I'm just sitting here thinking about how awesome it is to have all those pulls over here in the eastern side of God's country in the great state of Missouri. Yeah, no, that's going to be that ITPA co-sanctioning with ITPA is going to be pretty slick. That's a strong state level organization. So that'll be pretty cool hooking up with them. It'll be a good swing. Washington's kind of right down in there. I want to say in that Troy, Montgomery City area. If I'm correct, sometimes I do get my east and my west confused, but I think it's over there in that ballpark. And that's going to put that about 2 hours away from 2 to 3, probably closer to 3 hours away from Macon. But it'd be a nice little eastern Missouri swing as we start getting really close to the Mississippi River right there. So that's going to be fun. That's in the heart of my area.
And of course, you know, we normally pull at Martinsville. We normally pull at Troy, but with it being leap year.
That's right. Troy's not with us for 2024.
Not for 2024.
Yeah,
they'll be back in a couple of years. We'll have them back in a couple of years. But this happens about every 4 years or so. The Rock Valley, Thunder in the Valley will land on top of that Troy weekend. So,
but we've still got Montgomery City. Is Montgomery City still on the schedule?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. It's right down in that. All those areas are very close to one another, I want to say. So
Montgomery City pull fits in nice with Warrensburg is going the day after this year. So those pullers going to Montgomery City, can just drive right on down to Warrensburg for Saturday.
Yeah. Where does Platte City fall by comparison? Because Platte City and Warrensburg would almost kind of play off each other, very similar to Washington and Macon. They're both over there on the west side of the state. Are they comparable?
Different dates this year. That's going to come the night after. Well, it's going to be the same night as Lamar's, Iowa. The 27th of July is Platte City. And of course, that is the night after Wayne, Nebraska.
You know what? I'm asking all these questions, and look what I just have right here in front of me. I can just open this up.
You have
and then there's my printed
schedule. I don't know there's something weird going on with my green screen here. I'm just kind of barely popping in and out. Not sure if it's the lighting I got going on here. I think maybe it is. Got my cameras all mixed up here, Mike. I don't know why it's using this camera and not that one. But
go into your settings, Ron, at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then click on camera, and then you can pick your camera. It's using your laptop camera instead of your webcam camera. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, just go into your settings and switch it over. It happens to me from time to time. So, again, if you're just joining us, it's Tuesday, March 5th. Every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, we're live, Outlawed Live, with our host, Ron Stone, co-hosted by Mike Idle, Jason Schultz, when we can get on here and talking about, it's the off season. We just got through Louisville. this is kind of getting that time of the year where we're talking about tentative schedules and real schedules and different things like that. Kenzie and I were working on the, getting people lined up on TV this summer today. And man, Ron, you start looking at that schedule and you start thinking of last summer. It's go, go, go all the freaking time. It's nuts. So
yeah, it was it was a busy summer last year for sure. People ask me questions. So I was just on the phone with someone a couple of days ago, and they were asking me if I remembered something from a certain pull, and I was like, you know what? I can't even remember where all the big explosions were, with the exception of a couple. It's like it all kind of runs together when you get to about September, October. There was so much going on last summer. Another exciting thing about the schedule this year, as far as the pull in Spencer, Iowa, is going to be one session, 2 tracks this year, where in the past we've had 2 sessions there at the Clay County Fair in Spencer. This year it's 2 tracks, 1 session. So that'll be good. I think that's something we've been pulling for a while, and they went ahead and pulled the trigger on that idea. So I think that's going to work out good there. Starting the season off in Ravenna, Nebraska, second weekend of June, and we run through the third weekend of October down in Lufkin, Texas, at Dragon and Pulling in the Pines. So we're getting closer on this schedule. I know there's the version that's out there now. It's you're going to have to look at it again here in a few weeks because there's going to be a few differences. Bedford, Iowa is adding the 540 Light Pros, dropping the 2.6 class, but they're going to run that class earlier in the day, non-sanctioned. But the 540 Light Pros will be at Bedford, and I believe they're at Spencer the next day as well. I think, yes, they'll be. So 540, so I have a good weekend there that late September in Bedford, and then Spencer, Iowa. So
when we look at everyone who's hooking at Spencer, now that I've got this in front of me, and I've printed off the schedule about 10 different times, and I don't know which version this is and how up to date mine is, but it looks like almost every class that hooks at Spencer, the ones that don't hook will go down to Lufkin, but the ones that do hook at Spencer, they wrap their season up there. It doesn't look like anybody that hooks at Lufkin doesn't hook at Spencer and vice versa. So Spencer and Lufkin, those are essentially your playoffs, or where we're going to wrap things up for everybody. You'll know who the winner is by the time we leave both those locations, it looks like.
Yeah, both those events will be your game 7, your Super Bowl, your finals. So
and don't think, for those fans out there, don't think that doesn't matter. Surely there's points races that are wrapped up with 2 or 3 hooks to go. But I mean, down at Lufkin last year, there was multiple points battles that were not only just being wrapped up at Lufkin, but being wrapped up at session 2. We didn't even have a winner crowned after session 1. So to truly have almost this winner takes all types of point races, kind of a walk-off run, that makes things really neat, the way that's set up and established.
Oh, you gotta love that when it comes down to the wire like that. I mean, I think both classes you're referring to, the modified tractors and the 2-wheel drives, I think they switched on Friday night. The leader dropped into second, the second place pulled into first, and then of course we determined a winner on Saturday night in both classes. But yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see, is when it comes down to the wire like that, where any one of 2, at least 2, could win going into the final session of pulling. That just makes it awesome.
Yep. Yeah. So that's really neat, because, you could look at it and Spencer, you might end up having someone who pulls at Spencer would then also go down to Lufkin. But the way it's set up, the way it looks right now is, leaving those 2 pulls, who your champions are going to be. And I love what the Outlawed does. I love that we go down to Texas, because I think the crew we have from Texas, they're absolutely phenomenal. And I love that we bring pull into Texas, but I love that we pull in October too. That Lufkin pull is really neat. There's been about a month where everybody else on all fronts has kind of wrapped everything up. And then we come back with a playoff style, heavy hitting, points championship battle down there. And I'm sure the weather's nice. I've never been to Texas in October, but it's got to still be pulling weather down there. So that's a cool way to finish the season from a fan's standpoint.
Yeah, the weather has generally have been phenomenal down there. I say that now, knock on wood. It can get a little cool at night, but still, it's kind of like an early summer, late spring day, up here where we're at, Mike. But I love that pool down in Lufkin. I really do. White Right is a great pool as well. I've only been to it one time, but I've been to the pool in Lufkin, let's see, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 4 times now, I think. And it's a great cause too. I mean, for 22 and Wyatt Foundation. It's 100%. All the profits go to charity. But tonight's just kind of an open show. Whatever we want to talk about. I know. Going back, and I guess I should pay attention to these comments here. Light Superstock class was a dogfight after Wisner last year, all the way till the end. Superfan Russ Dostal. Light Superstocks. That was a good battle last year as well.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch Ron, Mike? Did you guys catch that show I did a couple weeks ago? That fan show. Did you guys get a chance to go rewatch that at all?
I have not. I saw some of the comments from it, but I haven't been able to rewatch it.
I jumped on. I don't remember where I was that night, but I was able to catch about the final 15 minutes and bits and pieces of the show. How was that experience? Were the fans pretty fired up to be able to be on here and experiencing it firsthand with the infamous Jason Schultz?
Whatever. Cole Lundell was on there, and Ron got his camera fixed. He's back. That's awesome. And then Russ was going to try to come on, but he was busy moving. And then we had somebody from Kansas. I forget their name, but it was a good time. Just asked.
I figured for sure that Russ was going to be on there. I thought when you made that post, I thought, well, he's going to be one that's going to be.
I didn't give him enough time because Ron and I kind of had some miscommunication. I don't remember exactly, but Ron couldn't be on. And then, Ron had a funeral. And you had something going on at school.
Yeah.
So, and then, off season's tougher to get everybody going. As you know, it's easy. There's a million things to talk about in the summer, but in the off season like that. Ben Beller. Yeah. Cole jumped on. Ben Beller was the other one, the other fan who joined us. That was fun. So that was a good time.
Not only that, but I was really sick as well last week. Picked up the flu or something in Louisville when I was down there, and it hung on to me for a couple of weeks. Yeah,
the Louisville flu, the indoor pulling is a real thing with the flu.
I always heard about the Gordyville flu.
Yeah,
I think that had to do with alcohol more than anything, though.
The alcohol fumes or the alcohol liquid?
Both.
Yeah. Both. Yeah. Gordyville probably doesn't have many alcohol fumes. That's more of diesel classes is going to be rolling through there most of the time. So
there were some times when they ran. I remember when they ran the Light Supers back in the. When I remember Blackburns being there, and I was on the announcer stand, I about died. It was pretty wild. So.
I caught a case of the Tireds at Louisville, and I got the two best inspirational, motivational speeches. So Jason Schultz and Matt Hart have very different ways of pepping a person up. Matt Hart will talk to you and just speak to you about how positive the world is and how thankful we need to be for everything. And I complained to Jason one morning. I was like, oh, man, I'm really tired from the pool last night. And I don't know if I can say his exact words, but it had to do with whether or not, my lady parts were overly sore and if I was just going to get over it or not. So, you have two ways of getting motivated the next day. And
you sat in a chair all night and watched a pull. While I was running around with a 30-pound camera in Broadbent, inhaling diesel smoke. And that's why when you said to me, oh, I'm tired. No, I'm going to pick on you no matter what, because you're my friend.
You're the big boss, man. I was doing research information for interviews. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, R&D, which you did a fantastic job, by the way. So I want to thank both of you for interviewing fans at Louisville. It was fun. We had a lot of outlaw pullers. Ron tried to grab a lot of those. It was a good time. The Outlaws were well represented at the farm show. I don't think we have much Mac trailer. We have what, Ron? I think just Cameron Neves, right?
Cameron, yeah. Yep.
I'm fired up for Cameron. I really want to jump on the Louisville Cameron Neves bandwagon, and Neves to the beach is a saying that I want to get going, and that's worth taking another look at and breaking down everything that he did and accomplished at Louisville. And I know that he was putting a little extra special want to because everything that was going on, and he always feels that it's tricky putting that third motor on there when he doesn't have as many hooks to go down the track. And then with that sled being as heavy as it was Saturday night, and when he laid down that pass, I thought, dude, we're going to do it. Like right here, we're going to put the Outlaw Boy #1 in the mods. That was one of those you're getting goosebumps watching kind of stories. So what he did at Louisville was, not to take anything away from anybody who represents anything, but the Cameron Neves story was a fun one that happened out there.
Hey, this is the Outlaw Show. We can just brag about the Outlaws. That's okay.
Well, I don't want to make any of the other Outlaw
nice
pullers, because you could spend an hour bragging on what a good job Jamie Yonke did as a rookie who's on the #1 hook, and how she pulled out there as well. But we had a lot of good pullers that put on a heck of a show out there in Louisville.
Yeah, I was definitely on my feet after Cameron's run there on Saturday night.
I had the old goosebumps going for that one, because he's been there a lot of times and he deserves it. And that pass he put down was as close to a picture perfect run for an indoor mod hook as you can grab. And it was, he was ahead by 10 or more feet for a while. There was just a big mean black one waiting in the wings back there.
Yeah. Did you guys happen? And yeah, like where Jason was going with this was he did qualify to go to the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals there in Louisville. Same facility there in Freedom Hall on the 23rd of March, 23rd of this month. So, and Cameron has confirmed that the Neves, the Cotton Candy crew is all ready to go back and try to lead the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals with a win. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be some bragging rights that we could be proud of.
A lot of those mods that are pulling there, it's almost the same lineup. So I feel like everyone's kind of walking in there with, something to prove, and a bunch of heavyweights that are back for bout #2. It makes a story that makes it feel like they're in it for even a little bit more. And you just know that Cameron is chomping at the bit to get back there. He's only got one spot left to go from second to first. And boy, we'd like to see that happen.
And then he's coming back to the Pullers Championship too, correct, Jason? Jason, can you hear?
Yeah, May 17th and 18th. Absolutely. Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But we can watch his run right here. This was the finals Saturday night.
Here's Cameron's running the finals, guys.
Oh. We totally missed it.
Yeah, so if you look at it close, and I kind of thought this from the stands, it looks like he does tap the right brake just a freckle. He cross-tracked it a little bit, and it drifted to the left like everybody was. Makes you wonder, that's almost good news. It makes you feel like there's just that last little bit left on the table that he might be able to capitalize on when he goes back to the Mac show.
Yeah, he was, what was it, 10 feet between, something like that, between Simon and him. I don't know if he would have had enough, I guess.
Right.
That's how hard he actually, mashed on that brake. I wondered that myself too, if he tagged that brake.
From that sled cam, you get a much better perspective of it. But yeah, he did get on it just a little bit harder. But boy, he had some ground speed, and he carried that front end just at about that 18 inches like you want to, and that chassis was twisting just about the right amount. This is about as close to a perfect run as you get on a track that notoriously takes everybody hard left.
Am I missing something here in the comments? Somebody's talking about
he had commented earlier that Ron, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ron, can you hear me? Yeah, he had commented earlier that the Pro Stock 4x4s weren't there. So that's what, and Kurt just saw it. So
No, the Pro Stock 4x4s are still in Wisner.
Jason, you put up a post on the Outlaw Facebook page and asked people what their favorite class was, and a surprisingly large number of people responded with Pro Stock 4-wheel drive, which I thought was a really interesting take. You know, when you think of 4-wheel drive, you almost kind of just automatically go to modified 4-wheel drive, but several people on the Facebook post commented. Of course, all the smoke blowers had a lot of heavy hitters, but a lot of people said they like the Pro Stock 4-wheel drive as their favorite class in Outlaws. I thought that was neat. You get your RPMs in that class, and you get beautiful traditional steel body style trucks in that class. So as I was perusing those before I jumped on here, I thought that was pretty cool.
And here's that post you're talking about. Super Farm, 540, Super Field, Pro Stock 4x4. Yeah, the noise classes, especially the mods, all of them. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. And here's some pictures from Tech School last weekend. Taylor Van Beek, director of tech. They get together in Omaha. Is that right, Ron?
Yeah, Omaha at Top Golf is where they had the.
Weird that Taylor would have something to do with golf.
Strange, isn't it? Weird how those things just happen like that. It was. Look at this young tech right there.
I was just going to say, are we starting up the young guns of tech now, Ron, or is this something new that Kurt didn't tell us about today?
I saw Kevin Davis over there in the corner of the room. Did you see that
too?
Oh, I missed him. Kevin, I had so many people. Ron, when you were at Freedom Hall, did you have the people wanting the live play-by-plays, and your phone can't send any text messages out? Kevin was asking me for updates when I was at Louisville, and I was trying to message him and couldn't get hardly anything to go out.
There's Ryan Boyson. He's eating. Ryan Boyson must have liked the food at Top Golf, don't you think?
Top Golf does have pretty good food, actually.
He must have brought the hot sauce. This guy, he's got a fire coat on. Whose silhouette is that, Ron? I can't tell.
I don't know. Not sure.
Watching cotton candy makes me
hungry.
Did you guys see the picture that Ryan Rusink put up on Facebook of Joe Claypool pulling a wheelie in a 4-wheel drive at Freedom Hall? Did you guys see that?
I did not.
I bet there was a point in that run where he had all 4 off the ground. I would be willing to bet that when he got out of that throttle and the rear end came up and he had a pretty aggressive bounce because of the momentum, I bet there was a point where all 4 were skyward, if I had to guess.
Oh yeah, if he wouldn't have got out of that when he did, that could have been really bad. We saw how hard Ike hit the wall after they reset the sled, and so it was even heavier at that point. So you can imagine Joe would have, might have ended up in the tunnel with the sled with him in there all mashed up.
Yeah.
Lori said it was Derek. Okay. Tom Mitchell says he's watching from Richland, Missouri. Tom would have been out in Hilliard, Ohio last weekend for the big garden tractor deal.
Oh, really?
Tom's got some badass little garden tractors. I saw them down in Missouri in December, so they're pretty awesome. They look good.
Some of those garden tractors are getting pretty wild. They're going to start putting some cages on some of those things, I think. I've seen some guys take some pretty nasty little spills on those garden tractors.
Tom says yes.
What rumors have you heard, Ron? I know you kind of led into the show a little bit, and you're like, let's talk about rumors for built and bought and trading hands. And
yeah, I want to know what you guys have heard. I'll tell you, any rumors I've heard. And one thing that's kind of interesting to me is that the modified chassis that the Otts have in their possession right now, they're trying to sell. Some history on that machine. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
I saw that they were selling it. It was a green vehicle. I saw on Facebook quite a while ago that they had one for sale.
Yeah, it was Dan Utz or Utz's old modified tractor, had twin Hemis on it. And they have that tractor up there in Nebraska. They're hoping to sell it to somebody that will keep it in, Nebraska, Iowa area to pull with the Outlaws. But pretty neat old tractor. I did see that a Missouri State guy sold a two-wheel drive, beautiful two-wheel drive from Tonganoxie, Kansas. I was hoping that somebody possibly with the Outlaws or with the Heartland series got a hold of that two-wheel drive. That would have been I think the name of it. I might have to go on Facebook and find it. There's a white big block Chevy powered, naturally aspirated two-wheel drive.
Oh yeah, is it kind of a T-bucket looking type vehicle?
Yes,
I know the one you're talking about.
Low Life's Revenge, that's what it was. I think his dad had one called Low Life, and this was the reincarnation of it.
It's a really interesting, it's a cool looking, it almost, so it's naturally aspirated, but it looks like it's got like a fake blower or something on it. It looks like it's got the injector hat up on top.
Oh,
and it's got a roll cage.
The injector hat on top of the the tunnel ram. It's injected, not carbureted. Blake said that modified chassis is still for sale. Someone come get it. Blake,
tell my brother-in-law to buy it. He's out there welding in Norfolk. He's always out there doing stuff, hanging out. He's got tractor pull money. Tell him to buy it, and let's get into pulling together.
So what is it set up for, Blake? It already has the transmission in it. It's set up for a couple of Hemis. Maybe we could sell it right here tonight.
Yeah.
We'll get Jason to do his best auctioneer impression here, and we'll sell that.
We'll get a hold of our buddy Matt Hart.
I was going to do it. Hey, we know an auctioneer. We'll do the live. Is that even legal? We're going to start raffling off auctions.
We always ask for forgiveness, Mike. Ask for forgiveness.
That's what I've been telling people in this sport. They're like, "Can you?" I said, "You ask for forgiveness. That's how this works." Single Hemi. I like the look of those single Hemis in that light limited or the light modified. We like to kick the limited out of there.
Yeah, we don't like that limited in there, Mike.
I tell you, I want to use my sphere of outlaw influence. You know who I think would be really cool to come pulling with the Outlaws? There was a post on Facebook the other day, and someone had asked the question, "What's your favorite four-wheel drive truck?" And I love four-wheel drive trucks and old school four-wheel drive trucks. And I kind of pulled one way out of my memory banks, and I gave a shout out to the old Yellow Rose tractor. And he jumped on there immediately and acknowledged that. And then I added him on Facebook, and he's from way down there in Texas. Well, hey, man, Texas, that's our territory. Can you imagine how cool it'd be for the old Yellow Rose to come back just out of nowhere and pull? If he's going to pull somewhere, it only makes sense to pull with us, man.
You talking about the Yellow Rose truck or?
Yeah, the Yellow Rose truck, four-wheel drive truck by I'm going to get his name wrong. It's Marengo or Moreno, or it's like Manuel.
Yeah.
Manuel Moreno.
Moreno. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Manuel Moreno. Yeah.
I'd like to. He mentioned something about still having it. And I said that'd be a good fit with us.
Mike, you mentioned another truck in there too. What was another truck that was one of your favorites?
I liked the Three Bears and the Intimidator.
The Intimidator Ford?
Yeah, the little Ford Ranger that had the blacked out headlights.
I thought you said something about Chevy Thunder. I thought you said something about that. I had that in
I don't remember if that was me or not. I don't. Right. Bud Bandit. I always had a cool thing for the Bud Bandit. That was a cool one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
I may have been drinking, or may or may not have been drinking when I.
Oh man. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, I've been there.
So we had the voices of the Farm Machinery Show on last week. We had Dan Mayer and Miles Krieger on last. Great show. Had great bunch of people watching and commenting last week. And you can imagine having a show with a couple announcers on there and how quickly it goes by when, you get three guys on there talking about pulling their passion.
Yeah.
But it was a great show. I invited Leslie to come on as well and never heard back from her. But I like to do that. We did that last year, did it this year, and both times those shows were a big hit. So, and those guys, as long as they'll continue to do it, we'll do that every year after the Farm Machinery Show.
And
here we go.
yeah,
Here's some rumor mill stuff here.
Kurt Van Beek must be into the brandy tonight, Ron. Normally he's not this chatty with the rumors. You know what I'm saying, Ronald?
Now, are we talking Doug Roberts here? The same, like, are we talking the Patriot? Is this so? We might see a second one out of that stable. Possibly an alcohol motor. Makes me wonder.
Now, I heard now just by some of his posts, not recent posts, but Doug had been posting a lot of things about machining on some LS motors. I thought he was building a twin LS tractor. So that might be the one that he's talking about there. Diesel pickup guy that sold his pickup. Got a 540, and he's also a promoter.
This rings a bell. This is like I can't.
Dude, it's gotta be
Brent Roberts.
It's gotta be. No, it's gotta be Jason Hill.
He's
a promoter.
What? That's true, because he did.
And Jason Hill loves John Deere tractors, and he's been talking about building a tractor for quite a while.
You know what? Several months ago, he asked me for rules on the 540 Light Pro. So you're right.
That'd be my gut. Yeah,
you're right.
That'd be my gut. Miles Krieger's checking in.
No,
Ron, you got him hooked. He says, "Pencil me in for next year." We'll hear Miles and Dan Saturday, March 23rd at the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals, if he can get to that show in Louisville.
So what's going on down there for the weekend, Jason, at the Mac Trailer?
Just Saturday night only. There's a band Friday night, I think, and it's the truck show all week.
Mid-America Truck Show.
And the week before that, it's Keystone Nationals out in Pennsylvania.
And Full Pull's running a game out there again this time. And I'm doing all like you've got me doing the behind the, I'm looking into stuff. I feel like I can make educated picks. So I feel like watch out. I'm winning the Full Pull game this time. Someone was asking last night who ended up winning it for the farm show. Did we crown a victor that
I'd have to go look.
The name of?
I think they notified him, but I'm not 100% sure. OJ handles all that from Full Pull. So
yeah.
So Tony Smerlin says Ed Wandler and the Bud Bandit. Is that ringing a bell? Is that his favorite truck, or were you guys trying to name somebody?
We got off on it.
That was one of your favorites, Mike.
Yeah, the Bud Bandit. Yeah, it was in all those trucks in the early 90s were just,
See, now
awesome.
I'm pretty sure, Mike, and I'm sending you this picture right now. I think this truck became the Bud Bandit. Look on your messenger right now.
Yeah.
I believe this was like 1988 or 9 at the Fort Recovery or Ohio State Fair. You can see the Budweiser trailer right behind. I'm pretty sure that was the Bud Bandit at one point. We'll see what.
Boy, that looks similar. We'd be remiss while we're looking at this if we don't talk about the high class grass truck and the way that it ties in with all these guys too. And once you pointed that out to me this summer when we started working together, that was one of those things that kind of lit me up like a light bulb, watching how that truck has been preserved and brought back over the years, and they did a heck of a job with it.
Yeah, sure. There's a picture of it. That was a picture I took
in
Fort Recovery, Ohio in 88 or 89.
Ron, do you want me to put those on the screen?
Oh, I just had it up there.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I had that one up there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's funny how that truck came full circle. It started in Oklahoma with the Johnson brothers, and then went to New York, and then ended up in Southwest Missouri, almost Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's right down there by Oklahoma where they're at.
And the historical significance of this truck is what, Mike?
First chrome ollie chassis.
First chrome ollie steel tube chassis on a modified four-wheel drive.
I try to listen when I work with Ron. I always tell Jason, seriously, I tell Jason when I work with Jason, I just look at him and I don't listen very well. And I say, hey, strong speaker, poor listener. But when Ron talks, I try to listen a little more closely. So you guys can do with that information what you will. But no.
Oh, no, you can actually learn something from Ron.
I listen because Ron, you're kind of like Dan. You guys are the type of people that you can just sit down and just, you could almost just walk through the ages of pulling and, bring back all the points races and the vehicles and the people. And, I hope to one day learn half as much as you guys have forgotten.
I think Dan has a better way of finding those things in his memory banks than I do.
He's a lot smarter than you, Ron.
Oh, that's what it is? Okay.
Don't sugarcoat it, Jason. Just, be bold here.
I feel Ron has one of the best voices in announcing. Like, his voice is just awesome. I mean, he also is a country music singer. You ever been in a rock band, Ron, or you just done country? So,
just country. I sang a few rock songs, but
yep.
I like rock. I always liked, 80s rock growing up in the 80s. But
my goal for you this summer, Ron, is to be able to relax a little bit more during the day and really get out in the pits and start. That is the one thing I hear about Dave Bennett all the time. He was around for so long. He would just chill in the pits and just talk to the guy and stuff like that. And now, granted, you wear like 15,000 hats with the Outlaws, Ron, but that's something that we need to figure out a way for you to not have to do anything. You just get out there and chat with people and get those stories and tell those stories, the night before, especially like on a 2-day hook, Ron, which I swear to God, we live on the road in the summer. But hey, Wednesday night this happened or Thursday night this happened, and that's good stuff to share all that. So,
yeah, I recall seeing Dave just chilling out. He'd park his motorhome and right in the pit area amongst, the pullers, and there'd be a picnic table or something, and early in the morning, he'd be sitting out there just hanging out, waiting for somebody to stop and talk and tell him a story. And, lo and behold, he'd use that story at some point. There goes the high-class grass right there, Mike, right by the camera.
So Colby Lane says, purchase Jeff Olmo's old Outlaw tractor. The bad plan on bringing it out to some Outlaw pools this year. I don't recognize that tractor, guys. What are you talking about?
I've seen that at least on social media here recently.
Is this that
Kurt
white
Paulson,
that he's talking about right there?
Is that a 3200? Yeah.
Kurt Paulson bought Crazy Horse. Right?
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, because I posted his picture of his rig on the Facebook page a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that tractor was running better than I've seen it run in several years. It
ran really good at Wisner, didn't it, Ron?
It did.
Wisner had awesome
pass. It made me stand up and take notice for sure.
Colby says, no, used to be a Pro Stock 4320 John Deere. It was called the Bad, right, Colby?
So it's going to be pulling in what class now?
I'm not sure. He hasn't said yet. For those of you wondering, this is Outlaw TV. The video is courtesy of outlawpulling.tv. $39.95 a month. You get everything. And we did over 40 polls last year. Go back and watch up to 18. This is from Platte City, Missouri, everybody. Just a heads up on that.
So the shameless plug for outlawpulling.tv is I would always come on to the Let's Grow Pulling podcast on Monday nights, my first 5 or however many times on there, and I would just rave about how I loved this pulling platform. And because I'm stupid, legitimately did not understand that was connected to anybody running it. So I can say with 100% non-bias, it's the best streaming service that I've canceled Disney, cancel Hulu, just outlawpulling.tv. It's all you need. So if it ever looked like those were plugs because the big boss man was telling me to run that, didn't even know he was doing that. It is legitimately that good.
So
no, we had a good summer last summer. We had a few hiccups here and there. We got better with stuff. We're gonna do a few different things this coming year as well. Last year was just kind of getting our feet wet and doing it. Just tried to bring you more camera angles. I think we had our starting line camera here. It looked like I saw in the diesel trucks earlier. Chandler was cruising around back there walking around. The big thing is just getting the Wi-Fi signal strong enough. Yeah. So the wireless, sorry, not Wi-Fi. So Colby says he's going to run that tractor, guys, as a limited pro at 4-1.
Okay.
So that's awesome. Good luck, Colby.
Okay. Mike, you canceled your Disney subscription, so your kids would rather watch Outlaw Pulling TV than Disney, is what you're saying?
Did you see me? Did you see me mute my microphone a second ago? That's because my oldest boy just came in here with the iPad. That's literally They would rather. Now, I'm not saying my kids are like everybody else's kids, and my older one maybe more so than my younger, but yeah, they would rather watch pulling. They would rather watch pulling. It's you get into Disney, I'll let you guys make your decisions. I'd rather watch outlawpulling.tv.
Mike, I think you need to head up the 2024 Stomper Pulling League this summer at Select Pulls. What do you think of that?
My dad's got a couple of stompers, and I can vaguely remember seeing them and watching him play with them when I was younger. I don't know that I have any of them laying around anywhere, but they would have full like tournaments and stuff, and you could pull those things like competitively.
Yeah, I had some modified stompers that I built as a kid that had 2 motors in them, and I used a train power pack, which was 18 volts. They were only designed to take 1.5 volts DC, but it was kind of fun to watch the motors blow up here and there and melt some gears. But that would be cool. We were talking about having like some junior outlaws or junior young guns. But the stompers, it's so crazy what they cost now. I mean, on eBay, they're like $100 a piece.
Mike, you're a kid at heart. What would you think of like we lost the host. That's okay. We didn't like him anyway. What would you think of? We had a meeting this morning with Kurt and everybody. Kind of like a membership for kids. You get like a sticker and maybe a hat, and kind of like you're an outlaw. I don't know. We were kicking around some ideas like that. I don't know if you want to. I don't know, Ron. I don't like Ron anyway. We're just gonna leave him off the show. So it's all good.
So the face value idea is absolutely awesome, and there's a few pulls out there that you can go to, and they kind of do that like the Kids Day, and they incorporate that a little bit. So you have to remember, and I'm sure you guys do. When we were 5 years old and the first time, our dads picked us up or whatever and let us sit in the seat of a pulling tractor, and just to even think that you're remotely affiliated with these people that at the end of the day, pullers are average Joes, but not to a kid. They are superstars. They are rock stars. They are, professional athletes. So if you give a kid something where he walks away with something in hand that says, I am affiliated with this, that kid walks around like a hero, so that's something. If you're just looking at it from the perspective of how they're going to receive it. And then you sell to families too. I mean, parents, I know that they eat that kind of stuff up. As a school teacher, you make somebody's little boy or little girl feel good, you hook in that family for life, and they come back to that. Now, as far as the logistics, like they're in a club and how often they come, I'm not a business guy, but from the raw emotion of it, you give a kid that says something. I mean, it's like, getting a gold star from the sheriff's department when you go there on a field trip. You feel like you're arresting bad guys for the next year. You give a kid a ball cap that says Outlaws on it. He thinks he's a puller. I mean, he wins.
Love it.
Love
it.
That's what happened to you. I heard you tell this story. Someone sat you up in a pulling tractor when you were a little kid, and it ended up being a multi-million-dollar, you just spent the rest of your life trying to chase it and get back to one. So you tell them what happens. You get to sit in a pulling vehicle and you're hooked for life.
Well, it was Iron Elk, Ernie Rops, tractor, Kelowna, Iowa. That was my thing.
I still say you could probably buy it. I'm know where it's at.
I'm very, very happy with what I just bought.
Look at this. Here's a team going down here right now. They've got 2 vehicles. You could start a whole stable, a whole fleet.
What was cool was I'm not sure if he was there last year, but the year before, the Rops were there at the Iowa State Fair watching.
Warren. I stay in touch with Warren. We talk at least once a month, and they winter in Florida, and he was going to come on the podcast one night, but we'll get him on it. We'll get him on it someday. I want him to drive it. So Dad'll hopefully drive it at the Pullers Championship. I mean, I'll drive it if he's not. If Dad's not there, I'm probably going to ask my singer to drive it. And then, but Dad might be planting corn or beans or whatever. And then and then Ravenna, Nebraska is our first outlaw hook, June 7th and 8th with it. So
I've always wondered this from a driver perspective. I'm going to interview you here quickly, like I do all the drivers out there. When drivers jump from class to class, is there an aspect of them that there's a certain amount of nerves or, kind of some trepidation? If you're going from a single turbo 4.1 all the way over here to your new triple charged machine, do you feel like you're going to hop up on there and pulling's pulling, or do you feel like there's going to be some, kind of hey, I'm sitting on something with quite a bit more ponies under the hood, and is that going to be playing in your mind the first couple of times that you drive it?
No, just lighting a 3 charger tractor will be different than lighting a single, a 4.1. The big thing, just getting all 3 turbos spinning. You know what I mean? So
the patience and just that right there at the beginning. But once you're there, you feel like pulling's pulling.
I'm not a good tractor puller, like actual pulling competitor. When I get to the pull, I'm like, why aren't the stands full? Where's my video people? We need to get this shot. We need to get in content. And then good pullers are reading tracks and watching tracks being built. You'll hear Ron talk about this throughout the season when he announces some of the best drivers out there. And that's just not who I am. I don't feel it in the seat of my pants like my dad does. And I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy I got a tractor, and I want to enjoy watching my dad drive it. My singer will drive it some when dad can't be there, or I'll jump it. I want to drive it some, but
yeah,
I want dad. Dad did a lot for me over the years, and it's my chance to return it to him. And I love the diesel super class. I want to bring it back. I want it more popular. I want it more popular with the Outlaws. I want it more popular nationwide. And there was a time that diesel super, and I've talked to Mark Ulmer about this, when the Pro Stocks really took that big jump is when you couldn't keep a block in a diesel super anymore. And I think the cost of a Pro Stock, a big Pro now I'm talking, compared to a diesel super, I think you can probably build a diesel super for less than you can a big Pro nowadays. But I don't know, just guessing. But that would be my guess on something like that. But I might be completely full of crap and might have to, I don't know. I mean, I know it's going to eat parts. I'm not dumb, but I trust Doug Meisinger with my life. He's very, very smart. And I think I've landed in a very, very good spot with him. So
I wondered, this was something I was speculating on too, now that you kind of mentioned how the big pros and the diesel supers and cost of operation and reliability are very comparable. I had speculated in my own mind, and this might be an article topic for the future. I wonder if we'll start to see people gravitating back, coming back from the Pro Stock class and moving back into the diesel supers again.
I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I mean, that's my goal, obviously. But there's not enough diesel supers. I mean, that's just a fact. That look at Louisville has 12 Pro Stocks in every session. Is that right? 12? Yeah, 12. And they only take 6 diesel supers, and that's basically because how many people apply. I mean, I've talked to Mike Witt about that. The classes, like 4.1s get 2 sessions now, because somebody told me, I can't confirm this, but 4.1s had more submissions than anything else this year to get into Louisville. So
do you think there's probably more 4.1 tractors out there than any other class?
I don't know. That'd be a good question. Brent Yarn would know that, because when you put up all the stuff for what you call it, for the Pullers Championship, he done all that. So
yep.
I'm putting the link to Mike's blog This Week in Pulling in the comments right now. You had a nice write up on the two between the duels of the fuels there, so that was good. So I'm not sure. Ron, did you jump on the phone? Ron must be on the phone because he muted himself. So.
But no, it'd be neat. We see these people, kind of moving from spot to spot, and we've seen a lot of crossover and people be more open-minded about where they pull and when they pull too. But, to see a Rob Russell in a diesel super again before it's all said and done, or other names like that, that'd be cool. That'd be really neat.
We're watching the I don't know why I got kicked off there a few minutes ago. I got the screen just went blank and said all snap. I come back on and my audio wasn't on, but watching the modified 4-wheel drive class here, guys, talking about rumor mill, I hear there's a truck out of Missouri coming back, whether it's this season or not.
Cody Lewis, right?
Cody Lewis. I keep hearing that name keeps popping up, that he's coming back.
His truck was all fired up, and that's Claypool's Risky Business now, right?
Yes. Mike, Let's unmute Mike. I don't know how he got muted. I can't
I am
unmute him.
fired up. Yeah, Cody Lewis. Yeah, I was over in Macon the other day and almost drove by his shop. I was going to do some of those cool Facebook pictures and do some stuff at the Lewis Body Shop. He did all the body work, I think, for Doug Roberts' Patriot tractor. But no, I've heard that he is building one. That guy knows his way around a four-wheel drive truck. Of course, like Jason says, it is the risky business truck. But I've heard that he is building a new one, so I'd love to see him out and about again.
Yeah, a couple more.
The four-wheel drive truck class last year was insane for the Outlaws. I mean, from top to bottom. I mean, the numbers were awesome. They put on a great show.
Good.
It was awesome.
And it was kind of unexpected too. It was like, wow, there's 23 trucks here at Wisner. Where the heck did they come from? They just came out of the woodwork last year.
There were.
Well, and I think we're gonna see that at a few events. If you didn't see the news, the NTPA, if you want to pull at Bowling Green this year, you have to have a Grand National license. Okay, any Grand National, they're not gonna let you day hook anymore. And Bowling Green is famous for that. Pullers go out there, they buy 1 or 2 day passes a year, and that's why they have 72 million super farms or 62 wheel drive trucks in Bowling Green. And honestly, I don't blame the NTPA for doing that because I don't know one person that wants to see 62 two-wheel drive trucks in the class. No. I don't know anybody who does. And I would say Wisner could benefit from something like, not say benefit, but maybe there's some classes that it always sucks that Wisner's on top of Bowling Green. Arguably, Bowling Green by far, it's just the biggest pull there is in the freaking world. But Wisner is one of the biggest pulls in the Outlaws. Because if I said to you right now, name the 5 biggest Outlaw pulls, you're going to go Rock Valley, without a doubt. That always comes up first. And you're going to hear Wisner, State Fair. I say Wayne, Nebraska now. What would I say for 5th? Ron, I'd say White Ride. I say Platte City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lufkin's growing. I mean, it's hard to, but you always hear Rock Valley, Wisner, State Fair when you talk the Outlaws. At least the circle I run in. There's a beautiful high glass.
Yeah. Did you see the crowd at Platte City last year?
It was insane. Well, that's where we're watching this video right now. And I think to your point, Josh Major says Macon, another huge pull. There are some destination pulls. And I like this. Josh didn't put Macon, Missouri. He just put Macon. And that's when I know a pull has made it, when all you have to do is say the first name. Rock Valley. Everybody knows freaking Rock Valley is in Iowa. Everybody knows that Wisner is in Nebraska. I mean, as they pop up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just fun. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. But these pulls have been around a long time. They put on a great show. They have a lot of classes. But I'm telling you, that could be something that we could see of extra vehicles at a Wisner. And we talked about that. We talked about that on some of our planning meetings where to do that. And I don't blame the NTPA again for doing that. It's probably, I know I was told, again, not by an NTPA person, but somebody kind of in the know. That's kind of why they did it. So I saw they had made the bigger announcement last week with it. So
that there's no way that doesn't benefit us and benefit Wisner. I mean, I just imagine there's no way it doesn't. That's awesome.
But we had interviewed Billy Beers in one of the full pull things, and he had said, I have a 5-engine Unlimited making 15,000 horsepower, and I got to pull at 11:30 at night. That's not cool. And he's right. That should be showtime. Because Ron and I talk about that, like when we put pulling orders together, there's certain things that you want at prime time, pro stocks, big mods, big trucks. That's what it's all about. And like last year at the Pullers Championship, guys, we ran the semis first on Saturday night, either first or second class. Even the semi pullers were shocked because they're used to just going to the driver's meeting and not pulling again until 10. Now, for you fans that don't understand that, the idea has always been not take as much time loading up the box, right? You just kind of, as the night goes on, you just load bigger and bigger stuff in there. But that's how that works. So
you could flip it and take weight out and almost into your prime time correctly. You could start with semis and just, go all the way down and finish your night with, something like the LLP class or something like that. And that'd put your pro stocks or your mods right there in the middle at prime time too. Take weight out.
Ravenna's another. Sorry, Mike. Ravenna's another big name. You don't have to say Ravenna, Nebraska. Everybody knows it's Ravenna, Nebraska. Josh Major says, Platte City's like my hometown. Hell of a crowd. You can see half of that, a little part of that hell of the crowd right now. So
yeah,
that's not the grandstand side. That's the pit side, I think.
Now I can remember going to Platte City several years ago when diesel pickups were just hitting the pulling scene. And, of course, Jason Hill involved, they had a huge diesel pickup pull, basically. And I went there, and I got there late, went there after work, got there late, and the place was just jam-packed. I mean, late at night when a lot of pulls, people are already headed to the car, headed to the house. I mean, they were still just elbow to elbow there. So, yeah, that Platte City, that's going to be, that's going to have a reputation for being one of the better pulls. I think Lufkin, Texas is going to be up there too. That pool just keeps growing and growing, and it's happening the right way. It's happening naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, organically, Ron.
Yeah, it's just like they're not trying to force it. It's just happening, and the guys recognize that. Hey, this is the highlight of our event is the tractor pull. So they're going.
I think the pool did start at 6 or 6:30 last year, Ron, and you said to me at 3:00, Jason, there are already people sitting in the stands, and I was like, holy crap, there are, and it was standing room only Saturday night, so in Lufkin.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of legendary pulls, are on our schedule, and I think a lot of these pulls are going to. If you haven't heard of them yet, you will. Eventually you're just going to hear Platte City, you're going to hear Lufkin, you hear Ravenna, you hear Wisner. I mean, Wisner needs to sell some T-shirts that says "Thunder by the Liver." I think that should be. Yeah. Put a red X for River.
There we go. This is where we do this. Now we've done it.
Ron, that's legit funny. And normally I just laugh at your jokes to be nice, but that's actually legit funny. So thank you for that. Thunder by the Liver.
I tell you what Wisner has going for it, and this is one thing before I got into announcing or production or social media with pulling, just as a fan, I would rave about atmosphere. You have to create an atmosphere, and I think that you see that at pulls like Bowling Green and like Chapel Hill. But between now, the berm seating, the infamous trees that are in the back where you stage your vehicles, which are just beautiful, and then the Thunderdome and the sky boxes, and then it's also got one of those old school guardrail hard packed clay style tracks. Wisner and BG Party Advocate was talking about he wants to go out there before. I've been to Bowling Green, I've been to Chapel Hill, I've been to a couple other places. Wisner has the best atmosphere of a pull that I personally have probably been to. It is infectiously fun out there. Thunder by the Liver, because they have the Thunderdome.
Ron, that's sticking. That is gonna stick, Ron. That's sticking.
Thunder by the Liver. They need to sell it in the Thunderdome. You need to get T-shirts over there. Thunder by the Liver.
dude, Ron. That's solid. That is solid.
Platte City classes. Josh Mazur was asking. Pro stock semi, limited pro stock semi, 2.6 diesel pickups, pro streets, a limited pro diesel pickups, pro stock 4x4, limited pro stock tractors, super mod 2-wheel drives and modified tractors, and also light limited pro tractors will be there at Platte City as well. I think probably Josh is asking because he has a modified 4x4. Of course, looking at the screen, there's Josh Mazur pulling at Platte City last year. The reason the modified 4x4s won't be at Platte City this year is because they are booked at Lamar's, Iowa. So schedule's kind of, like I said, the schedule, some dates fell on top of each other this year, so we had to kind of, move some classes around for some of these pulls. So
yeah, if it's, and I've never really got deep into the scheduling part of it, but just listen to you guys talk about it. There's only so many weekends, and every year it changes. Yeah, I know one year July has 5 weekends, and the next week it doesn't, and that's why you see polls kind of come and go from time to time. Yeah, we'll get you some Outlaw stickers. Send me your address. I got those right here in my trailer because we have the Outlaw TV trailer here in Wisconsin with us. Yeah, Thunder on the. You want Thunder by the Liver or Thunder on the Liver? What do you want, Ron?
Oh, Thunder by the Liver.
I like Thunder by the Liver. Yeah.
Cross out River like with an X.
Yeah,
and put liver
put the little like grammar insert symbol. Now we're even. Man, you put some thought into this, bud. Yeah, Thunder by the River, Thunder by the Liver.
Oh wow, I'm reading all this now. Yeah. Darren Dreyer goes Lamar's. Josh is poised to it. Okay. Very good. Good crowd. A lot of people watching tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. Just wanted to hit that, the Washington, Missouri pool, what classes are going there, just to give those classes a heads up if anybody's from those classes is watching. It'll be super modified two-wheel drive, modified tractors, pro stock tractors, and limited pro stock semis will be at Washington, Missouri on August the 9th, the night before Macon.
Mike, you mentioned Chapel Hill, and I got to go to Chapel Hill for the first time this past summer with Pool. Wisner has that feel. That
very much so. Very
Ron,
much so.
it's kind of like a football stadium, and all all honesty, just single track in the middle. And when Wisner's full of people, you get that awesome feel there. What are some other pools that we have like that? There's a pool up here in Wisconsin, guys, called Ridgeland, Wisconsin, a huge hillside. But that's that natural berm. And Chapel Hill isn't a natural berm; it's all bleachers. But the way they set it up, it's just kind of a neat little, almost like a horseshoe around the track.
I compare it. I tell people that if Bowling Green is the Daytona 500, then Chapel Hill and Wisner is Bristol, because it's like you're right on top of it. You're right there. You're packed in. That's what it reminds me of.
Well, I tell you, the skyboxes, guys, I was skeptical of those skyboxes. And as soon as I got there, I went up in those skyboxes just to take a look. And I was like, I was wrong. This is super cool. The vantage point they had in those skyboxes. So kudos to the Thunder by the River crew up there for taking a chance and getting those skyboxes.
Carroll, Nebraska was Wisner before Risner. Justin, you're going to need to explain that. Tim Blankesper, the man behind the Thunder in the Valley.
That's not Tim Blankesper. He's got a tie and a suit on. Who is that guy?
Must have been a funeral. Hinton, Iowa had atmosphere, bad parking, bad pits, bad grandstand seating, bad food, usually hotter than Satan's sandbox. Action on the track was amazing and unforgettable. Yeah, I never went to Hinton. The track's just grown up and shit now, right, Ron? I feel like I drove through. Hinton's kind of out by Lamar's, isn't it, Ron?
Yeah, I always hear about it, but yeah. There's another one. There was one in Nebraska. It was an NTPA hook back in the 80s.
Is that Carroll? Is that what Burkholz was talking about?
What is the name of that town in Nebraska? It was a big NTPA hook there back in the day.
That's where the Bad Medicine John Deere debuted and won like 3 straight. It won like 55, 75, and 95. I know the one you're talking about, Ron. I just can't.
Hildreth. Yep. Hildreth. Yeah, Bodiot says Hildreth.
So anybody go ahead, Jason.
No, if you want a Thunder by the Liver t-shirt, let me know. Please type in the comments. I got to put my order together for this. So.
Yeah.
Ron, we have to I got to do a cartoon drawing of you and put you on a t-shirt. And I'm going to Roan Stone. I'm doing it. I'm doing it this year.
Roan? What's the Roan Stone story? I was late to the party last year. You got to fill me in.
Chandler Pickler is one of my video editors at Beer Money Pulling Team. The guy makes amazing videos, but he couldn't spell his way out of second grade, right? So
never made it to the spelling bee for sure.
And he made an awesome video. Our opening Outlaw video that we play every show. Chandler made that, and he said Outlawed Live with Roan Stone, and it's awesome.
Dude, I like it.
My French doppelganger, Mike.
Ron.
Kevin Davis, my hometown, Carroll, Nebraska.
So some other rumors out there, and I'm pretty sure these are more than rumor, but is the Gopher will be a 540?
I've heard that.
I heard Mullinixes are doing, and are they buying something too? I heard there was maybe even more there. I heard something out of left field, but now I don't remember what it was. Or was that the end of it, maybe?
Might have to give Jerry a call and see what's happening.
Maybe my imagination got running wild, but I thought there was more to that, but I don't remember what it was.
And then also
be a good fit for that tractor to go 540. I could see it doing well in that class.
And also in Unionville, their neighbor, Tanner Michael, Nick Michael, that tractor, I don't know if it'll happen this year, but they're talking about it being a 5-inch Pro instead of a 4.1 Snuffy. May go to a 5-inch turbo and be a 5-inch Pro.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. That'd be, I mean, yeah, all these moves make sense. You know, you can see all that working well.
And all the diesel super guys, outlaw diesel super guys, plan on going to Whitewright, Texas. That's another change you're going to see on the schedule. Unfortunately, mod 4-wheel drive guys will not be going to Whitewright this year, but diesel supers will be going. And that's one of those pulls too. You just say Whitewright, you know where it's at.
Yeah.
They draw a lot of people down from the Dallas area. They're just an hour from Dallas or so. And same way with Lufkin, those people will show up hours before the pull and sit there in the Texas sun, not giving up their seats there around the 300-foot mark. But a lot of people attend that event as well.
Yeah, I'm going to get my my Texas family. My Uncle Dave lives in Dallas. I got some friends in Dallas. We're going to have a little beer money pulling team reunion down there with the Remedy and Mr. Scrappy himself. So
I think diesel supers were in Whitewright. Were they in Whitewright last year? Isn't that where the Taylor's big win was?
That's where Taylor said, I'm done with diesel supers.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
And I know that not because I was there, but because outlawpulling.tv. You can go back and watch an entire season throughout the winter and you can see all that. So outlawpulling.tv, it gives you all the stuff. You can go back and watch it anytime you want.
Well, I've still got that little cough still hanging on to me from Louisville, guys. That's crazy. Anybody else get sick when they were in Louisville? Pick up a bug down there?
I did not. A couple people from my team did. Hope did. Chase from Full Pull got sick down there. He's still hacking. He sounds like you, Ron. So
that's crazy. Nasty stuff.
You guys probably got the Rona.
Could have been, I guess.
I was getting sick until Jason handed me the margarita that was all Garita and no Mar, and I think
it was all tequila.
It was all Garita. There was no Mar in that margarita, and whatever bacteria potentially was growing anywhere in, on, or around me was immediately cleansed and killed.
Yes, Josh Major, no mod 4x4 in Whitewright this year. I know, but don't get mad at me. It's just there's a lot of these decisions are up to the promoters, and they have to make those decisions on what they feel is right. I think they switched that class out a little bit. I think they'll probably go diesel super, for a couple of years, try something a little different, and then go back to mod 4x4. Alcohol makes everything better, Mikey.
It appears that Josh is happy that doesn't have to go to the burning hot sun in Texas. So, how about that for honesty? So,
well, Eric Claypool's not watching because he'd be ripping me up and down about it right now. So he likes going down to Whitewright.
Mike, you think Claypool? You think Claypool? That's one of Ron's biggest fans is Claypool.
Well,
Ron Stone is Eric Claypool's hero.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, his own self-proclamation. I haven't seen him on for a while though. Maybe the love is fading a little bit. What do you think? This is the 2.6 Pro Street Diesels pulling there at Platte City last year.
How many hooks do we have for this class this year, Ronald?
Not very many. Matter of fact, I have to take one off of there. Bedford is taking them off the schedule. Bedford, Iowa, 2.6 guys, don't freak out. They're still going to have the class. It's just going to be earlier in the day at like 3 o'clock. And it won't be a sanctioned version of the class. They'll still have the 2.6 pickups, but it won't be sanctioned. Let me.
My schedule says 3, but I think my schedule's dated.
The newest schedule is on the website, but it's not the final one.
5 is what I have. Take Bedford off, and there's 4. So 4 hooks for that class. We were optimistic that this class we could get 6+ hooks and get a points fun setup for him. But right now, yeah, 4 hooks, not enough to get a points fun setup, but maybe next year.
Traveling, I'm guessing traveling, Ron, with that group is going to be the problem. A lot of guys, they want to stay closer to home, and I get it.
It is. A lot of those trucks are, you got to be in Missouri, especially there seems to be a huge following of those trucks now on the eastern half of the state of Missouri too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those trucks you're seeing here on video come from, the other side of the eastern side of Show Me State. So
you used to be anything back around 2014, 15, anything synonymous with like St. Joe diesel. That was just like diesel pickup truck country, and anything within 90 to 120 miles of St. Joseph, Missouri was just the absolute hotbed for 2.6 or 3.0 diesel trucks. They almost all were products of St. Joe diesel at the time.
Yeah, there was a few other shops. A buddy of mine named John Isaacs had a shop around Lawrence, Kansas. He did a lot of the early work. Actually, had a contract building pumps for some different companies around the country. He was kind of an innovator, if you will, at the time. But he had a pickup that right at the beginning of that diesel pickup boom. Honestly, he was right there in the middle of it and had one of the top trucks. Mod 4x4 first hook.
Ron, you looked that up. Tim Lancaster, if you're still watching, Tim, Mike and I have lined up for Let's Grow Pulling via Kurt Paulson, supposedly the innovator of the Super Farm class with ITPA before the Outlaws. Hub is his name, and I need somebody that knows their history to let me know if that's honest, if that's true or not. Because Hub is his guy's name. I got him coming on our podcast the 25th of April on Let's Grow Pulling. I'm looking for my text right now. But let me know, you guys, there's a lot of history buffs, been around a long time.
Is that a 4-wheel drive puller, Hub?
No, it was he supposedly started the Super Farm class back in the day.
Where is he from? Where'd you say he was from?
No, Zub. Dennis Zubrod? Dennis Zubrod and Natasha Curtin are the two that I'm going to have on the show. I think that's his daughter.
First modified 4-wheel drive hook right now is Rock Valley. So
yeah, I was just looking down, seeing that.
That's not till July.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, July 12th and 13th. Yeah, now that they're not at Whitewright.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Got to figure out something to do there. Can't have the mod 4-wheel drive sitting out for over a month.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Major said smoking diesel also. I'm not sure what that means.
Smoking diesel performance, yep. Smoking diesel.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has a pulling truck as well.
Zub.
Josh, dang it. See, that's where I can't pull those things out like Dan can. I think he takes some of that. What's that memory? Those memory pills.
Fish oil.
They have some now that are like specific for your memory, Mike. I think I need some of those.
I'd forget to take them.
Let's get him to sponsor the Outlaws.
I forgot what we were talking about just now.
Yeah. Sponsor the official memory booster of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor
There
Pulling.
You go.
Oh,
hey,
man.
I'm down with it.
That's intriguing. The 4-wheel drive trucks. Yeah, that's worth looking at. That's interesting.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm looking. I'm doing research here. Doing research. Never mind. Moving on.
Moving forward.
Moving on. Onward and upward. Any other scuttlebutt? Any dirt? Anything that? Josh O'Connor. Thanks, Josh Major.
The rumor that I hear constantly, and I've typed in the comments before I started co-hosting or talking on this show, and it always seems to get shot down quickly, but I feel like I hear this continually, is the Shamrock 5.0 that one of their vehicles is going to be resurfacing as a 5.0, which would put it very comfortably, within the world of outlaw pulling, or here in west of the Mississippi pulling anyways. Don't know if there's ever any truth to that, but I feel like I just, like, the people that I talk to and whatnot, that one pops up a lot. Just pure rumor mill stuff.
Yeah, I talked to Dennis about that actually last year at the farm show, and they were unsure at that point what they were going to do. I think they were having some issues with rules with NTPA at the time, but I think everything kind of quieted down. But yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, we might see them at some point. Good family, great.
Oh,
puller.
yeah.
Always like to stop and chat with Dennis for a little while when I see him out. There's Jason's trailer mate from this season.
I wanted to show you some Wisner, Nebraska. Is what we've been talking about Wisner a lot tonight. I wanted to show you guys some Wisner. So,
is this? I didn't know if that was the most recent one that had the sky boxes in the back. That looks like Sac City.
Yeah, that was Sac City. That last one there.
That was.
We had. No, you're fine. Go ahead. I'll try to find some skyboxes. We actually went into the skyboxes and shot out of there. And Wisner. Let me bring Wisner up. Keep talking, guys. Sorry.
Yep. I saw a group at the National Farm Machinery Show, and they had on Sac County Fair T-shirts and everything, and I was like, oh man, that's my near and dear pull. That's where it all got started for me. So I wanted to go up to them and give them a big old high five, but they had their hands full of ice cream and were doing their thing, so they moved on. But Sac City, that's one that I'll recognize.
Tom, Michelle,
yeah,
Rodney,
all of ITPA went all 5.0 this year. Illinois tractor pullers. So, and he had sold Hartman's, had bought the big pro, and I've been told the Schneider's going 5.0 pro, but all ITPA tractors, Illinois tractor pullers, that's all 5.0. So, I'm trying to remember what night we went up into this skyboxes and shot video. Saturday, I had all my camera people fainting because it was so hot.
Saturday was I don't know who it was. Tim Blankspore a little bit ago was talking about hotter than Satan's sandbox. That was Wisner last year on Saturday. Wow, it was hot.
Yeah, you had to go operate the camera yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I called you to go up, get back to the announcer stand with Ron, so I could go shoot some cameras, give people some breaks, get them out of the sun. So
I didn't know what was going on, and I felt bad that people were dropping like flies. But when I got a phone call that says, "Hey, get up here and grab a microphone," I was like, "All right, here we go."
Yeah, I think we had a couple of track officials actually went down on Saturday at Wisner last year too. It was just such a long day, and it was so hot,
Are they starting at 3 again, Ron?
No, I don't think so. I think we are anticipating a later start. Our suggestion was to put a couple more classes on Thursday and Friday to take a little more load off of Saturday. Granted, what's going on in Bowling Green is larger than Wisner, but wow, we had a lot of pullers. Anytime you have over 200 hooks in a session, you got to be on your A game, getting those things in and out of there in a decent time. So try to take some of that load off, and we're hoping that they'll come back with a proposal that has at least a class or two more on Thursday, a class or two more on Friday, and we won't have such a load on Saturday.
Let me ask you this question, and if it's one of those you need to answer delicately, or just don't answer, because sometimes my mind goes to right to it interview style questions. But Wisner used to be Friday session 1, Saturday afternoon session 2, Saturday night session 3, and then they moved it to a Thursday, Friday, Saturday with that massive 3 to 11 p.m. 200 hook 8-hour show. Did you prefer the day session Saturday? Did that help take the load off, or did it not make any difference? I guess you're still there then from noon to midnight, so maybe it doesn't make a difference.
The Saturday sessions, it makes for a long day for sure. I honestly prefer a Thursday night session. Not everyone's going to be able to make a Thursday night session work, though, but I think a place like Wisner, Nebraska, a place like Rock Valley, Iowa would be able to pull that off just because they're such big events and everybody knows them, and they're destination events.
Yeah.
Where people will drive from halfway across the country when they're motorhome, to camp out and just be part of it. And it's that type of pull. So yeah, I think that Wisner could pull that off a Thursday night. I think Rock Valley could pull it off. When Rock Valley talked about it, doing that for this year, it didn't end up happening, but yeah, and it may pop up again for Rock Valley as well.
Here's a cool video. I don't want to talk on top of Ron. I do it enough, but this is Back in the Trees that we mentioned earlier. This is Thunder by the Liver. I know I sent Chandler up into the skyboxes, Ron, and we switched out to him. I just gotta remember where it was. So
the skyboxes acted as not only awesome seating venues, but during that 4 or 5 o'clock afternoon on Saturday, that was the shade. Everybody was hunkered down underneath those skyboxes, just sucking down waters and anything cold they could get. That provided some much needed shade for the fans as well.
Doug Meisinger says might be time for 3 tracks. That would be interesting. I believe they did that at Bowling Green back in the 80s a couple of times.
Toma had the 3-track setup. I don't know if you could fit 3 at Wisner. That'd be tight with the guardrails there.
You can kind of see the skyboxes in that shot, guys. I think this is when I set Chandler up was during the Alki Supers. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we just saw him walking by at the starting line in a shot just a moment ago.
I'm proud of some of the angles we brought to the Outlaw TV last year. Some of the starting line stuff was what we really tried to focus on. Once we had that wireless working.
That was a nice transition right there from that starting line shot too. I like that. All right. Anybody else have any scuttlebutt out there? Anybody heard anything that we haven't talked about tonight?
Just give me 1 minute. I want to try to find these shot from the skyboxes, Rob. So.
There's a slow-mo shot there.
I say we're getting treated to a great play-by-play of what was an excellent light super stock class out there that saw some really good crossover pulling and some guys that were some one-off pullers show up and come and play with us, which was really, really cool. And, I've been pretty vocal. I'm a spark plug guy. So anytime I can watch the Alki burners go down the track. And I got to realize, Big Boss Man, he's a diesel super stock puller. So maybe I shouldn't be so vocal about my love of the Alki pullers.
We need all of us. I don't know anything about. I don't know the difference between anything. It's all good.
Spark plug and glow plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you could fit 3 in there or not. You'd have to definitely the track width would have to be narrowed down to do that. But
this is one of those silly, pointless things that a goofball or a nerd like me notices. But one thing that Wisner does, and I think Chapel Hill's done it, and I think Macon back in the day, like when I was a kid, would do this too. And it's one of those details I love at a pull to create atmosphere. I like when they run the banners over top the track. Anytime you have like your sponsorship banners behind there, like Wisner does, or just even your little, pennant style banners going over that the smoke can blow way up in the air. That's one of those things that I think just adds an awesome feel and an awesome touch to a pull. And Wisner's got the flags and banners that drape across the track that you can watch get blown sky high as the pullers go down.
I'm sure I asked him to go up there during the light supers, guys. I just got to find out where when I sent him up.
Jason, were you ever on Outlaw TV? Austin Thurby is asking. I think he means pulling. But
Yeah.
yeah.
2022, quite a bit with the Remedy, the 4-1. And then this year I was behind the camera quite a bit. So
3 tracks, that could be a thing. You never know. I mean,
it's interesting that was a revolutionary idea that a few places were implementing in the 1980s. And then it fell by the wayside. And Ron, you're kind of a historian. And what are your thoughts there? And do you think that would be something worth re-examining again at these monster pulls like your Wisners and your BGs and whatnot?
of course, it's going to be more of a cost because you're going to have another sled there. You're going to have 3 sleds. You're going to have more officials out on the track. And, anytime you have a lot of moving machines out on a track like that, it's obviously can be dangerous. So, safety has to be the priority over everything. And you just throw another pulling track and more tractors out there grooming the track and a sled moving back and forth. If they had the room, yes. I mean, I'm not going to say don't look at it, but I would absolutely look at it. I mean,
if you can't run them simultaneously, though, at the end of the day, a 2-track setup is really just 2 single tracks that you allow your time, the downtime to prep and have staged ahead of time. Bowling Green has the barrier that runs down between the 2 of them, and it's about the only place that I can think of where they'll send them simultaneously. So if not, once you got to the 3rd, I don't know, maybe you lose or there is no more advantage because unless then you just might have 2 guys staged and you're kind of still waiting on each other. So unless you can run them, the outer right and the outer left at the same time with the middle as a buffer, I don't know if you gain a whole lot on amount of showtime there.
Yeah, it could help, but then you also, with what we're doing, it's also a production with Outlaw Pulling TV. We have sponsors that want their commercials on, and it does become a little harder if you're running that 3rd track to find those spots to get those commercials in. Then you may actually get to a point where you're having TV timeout, like you watch an NFL football, and they have to go to a commercial because the sponsors require so many commercials. Bodiox is the Maid Pull in the Netherlands has 3 tracks. Constant Action. Matt Holland says Evansville PPL show used to up until 2012. Haven't been back there.
Tell you, announcers stay busy with 3 tracks. If you get a fast show like we had at Wisner, there's only so much time for banter and commentary and hanging out and whatnot. I mean, there were several times I noticed up there at Wisner, and of course I'm a rookie and don't know much about it, but there was a lot of times where, you and I were just single track calling basically because the pace was so quick. We'd go to make a comment on one and the next track was up and hooking, and you get 3 of those running, you've got unless you brought a 3rd announcer or whatever, 2 announcers would be doing all they could to make all their calls on that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say it can't be done. I'm not gonna sit here and say
no, I agree,
nobody should do it, but absolutely look at all options. But I don't think the Outlaws have ever done that before, so it would be a first, I think, for OTTPA.
I am not going to. Jason, are you sure he was up in the skyboxes?
I can't remember what night I sent him up there. I doubt if it was Saturday night because we were so short people because everybody was fainting on me. I thought we did it Friday night.
Austin Thurby is a Outlaw Pulling TV fan. Outlawpulling.tv. So somebody was asking, how do you get it? Go to outlawpulling.tv, set up your account, and get to watching. So we're watching some. So this is 2023.
Yeah, this is Friday night. This is Friday night, Wisner, Ronald. I think. Pretty sure it was, or was it Saturday night? There's the skyboxes. They're badass, you guys.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
Yeah, this is Friday night. But you get all this, everything you see on the screen, guys. It's hours and hours. It's like you could not binge watch all of this, right, Ron? So
No, you
I legitimately, I tried like 100%, like both because I enjoy it and to do my research for the 2024 season. And I started the 2023 season at Monette, Missouri, and I started it. It was around Christmas. And I have not made it to Sac City yet. I haven't found myself coming onto the scene. So I've made it to about, just past Troy or Marthasville or somewhere in there. It's not hours, it is days of, and that's just one season. And it goes back, 5 seasons, Jason?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Back to 18 or 19.
There's some pulls from 18 on there. Mike, I can see you binge watching, man, middle of the night.
I go in streaks, sometimes I got to get on Netflix and watch Big Timber a little bit from time to time. But no, it's a great way to spend your time. You get on Outlaw Pulling TV.
You say Big Timber?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Have you not seen Big Timber? It's got the old guy that goes out there and he goes logging with all his junk equipment.
Sounds like a terrible name for a porno, Michael. So.
Big Timber. I'm going to, if I were build a pulling truck, that's what I'm calling it.
I'm just picturing you with Coltrane Energy cans laying all around your big easy chair and a big bag of cheesy poofs on your chest as you're laying in your recliner binge watching Outlaw Pulling TV.
You're not
cheesy poofs. That's what Hartman calls.
This is the public education system. This is teachers at their finest. You're not far off. That's pretty close to what it's going to look like on any given Tuesday night at 1:00 in the morning.
Jim Schwartzman, are the skyboxes at Wisner open to the public or private viewing? You actually have to purchase a skybox.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're not only specifically for businesses. I mean, if you have a group, that wants a skybox, by all means, give them a call up there and try to get one reserved. Early bird gets a worm.
Can you buy coolers and beer? I thought there was a deal too, you buy your skybox and then you can be like, hey, we want X amount of coolers, and they provide the coolers, and then X amount of bags of ice. And is that a part of it too?
I think so. I think they were delivering alcohol up there.
Can you imagine, man?
And what a ride there by Brandon Gill, and that slow motion really shows what a rough ride that was.
That's something that we've talked to the team about. Kenzie and Kai are running the switch. The slow-mo is so cool, especially when something, kind of wild happens, like Oso Negro's run there.
Well, and Ron's really good about utilizing it when he live calls too, because if we have the video replay board, because Ron's got the eyes and the trained vision, he can pick up on a lot of that stuff in real time, and he'll engage the crowd and he'll be like, watch this, right rear, guys, we can see that planetary lock up, or he can say, oh, I think he had all 4 off the ground. And then as a fan, when you're sitting there watching it because the slow-mo comes on the big video board replay, that's a win-win for the fans there and the fans at home. So when you can have all that working together.
Yeah, Ron, Saturday we were live for 7 hours and 37 minutes last year on Saturday. I just looked, you see the bottom of the screen down there?
Yeah, it was a long day, long night. Sure.
I remember, Jason, you were in the crow's nest and you were like, who's been here for all 7 hours? And this old boy right in front of me, I was done announcing, I was out there hanging in the crowd, and he raises his hand and you were like, who's drank more than 20 beers while they've been here? And he raises his hand as high as it'll go again. He can only get it so high. And this was right before Goodwin decided to pull it about 417 feet, and we all flew out of our lawn chairs.
Yeah, that was fun. That was cool. That pass, that brought people to their feet at that show. That was awesome. So what pulls are you guys looking forward to this year? What's on your radar that you're excited about?
I have a hard time answering that because there's all of them. I'm ready for revenge. This is going to be such a ride for me this year. Last year I came in middle of the season, halfway, part-time, just, happy to be there, just excited to be even remotely involved. And this year, I think we're going to hit the ground running, and I'm going to try to help out in every capability that I can. And I want the season to get here. So I guess my answer would be Ravenna, because that means that we're rocking and rolling and it's go time. But yeah, I don't know. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these venues I haven't seen before in person.
Ron, what new ones are on the schedule this year, bud?
Washington, Missouri for sure is new for us. Like I said, we're still working on that schedule. Let's see. Yeah, as far as new ones, that may be it. I'm not sure on the Heartland side of it. I did send a proposal out to the South Dakota State Fair. If that would happen, that would be over Labor Day weekend. But they are looking at that. We used to pull up the South Dakota State Fair in Huron, South Dakota. The only new one that would be new to us this year would be Washington, Missouri, I think. There's still some proposals out there. I had another venue in Oklahoma that wanted a proposal. Have a proposal out in Arkansas right now. It'd be a late September hook, Fort Smith, Arkansas. It's just we're at that point though. We get to a point and we just gotta kind of shut them off. Unless we can get some classes booked that's right for the area. As far as if it's regional, it's some classes you just don't send too far out from their base. You know what I mean? But like down there, Fort Smith, Arkansas, a given is going to be Pro Stock 4x4, in that area because it's so close to Missouri. A lot of Pro Stock 4x4s down there. But we'll see. We may be pulling in Arkansas. We may not. May have another hook in South Dakota. But hopefully by April 1st, this thing is going to be set in stone is our goal.
Can you answer Tom's question, Ron, on the screen?
Washington will be Illinois Tractor Point Association, ITPA, Outlaw. And I think one night there will be a couple of Excalibur classes. I'm not sure which ones. But we're considering it a co-sanction with ITPA. ITPA and Outlaws run the exact same insurance. So we can literally work together on those events. And the promoter only has to pay the one insurance fee between the two organizations. Chuck Hobbs is looking forward to the Sheboygan City Fair up in Plymouth, Wisconsin. Jason, you know that one?
I do. I've announced there before with Badger State.
Yep. Up in Sheboygan?
Yeah, there, eh?
Yeah.
There it's coming out. The northern dialect. Oh, man.
I like playing Outlaw TV off to the side like this. This is fun. I mean, I like showing this to people and they get to see what what they can check out.
I mean, this is, if you're a fan, like this is not just, Mike talking because there's an Outlaw banner hanging behind me and, I'm a part of this.
Did we get you a bigger banner, Idol?
I'm assuming it's en route. I have not seen it yet.
Yes, you have a banner on the way, Michael.
Big old thing up here.
Does it look like a few of the people in the crowd there may have actually been somewhat naked? It's possible that.
Oh, there we go. This is it. This is from the skybox.
We're in the boxes. He found it.
So Chandler's up in the skyboxes, guys, for this next shot.
Is he up in the very tippy top, the very top one up there?
I don't remember because they were talking on the radios, Ron, to see how far you could go, Ron, with the wireless camera.
So can you hear me now? It was like legitimately like those old commercials. You would take a couple of steps and check it.
But you can tell he's up high because you can see the flags that go over the track waving in the air.
That's what I'm telling you. It's those little things at pulls that make the difference. I love the flags across the track.
So there, you kind of get a view from the skyboxes. That's cool. That's cool. That is cool.
Austin Thurby, Wisner does not have minis. We do not have minis with the Outlaws. Not yet, anyway. You know.
Austin Thurby's a naturally aspirated. He's a big block mini rod puller, naturally aspirated.
Very cool.
So he's from Kentucky. I know Austin. Met him in Florida. Him and his wife. I think Cassandra is her name, if I remember correctly. So, and I think Austin's at work right now. So get back to work, Austin.
Tim Skelton checking in with the Bone. Congratulations, those guys, on a win there
at the farm show. We lost Ron.
I think I made some money on that pick too. That was one of the ones I picked correctly. I don't remember it being windy in Wisner. It looks windy there. I guess it's Nebraska.
It was a hot wind. It was a hot wind. Thunder by the liver.
Is this might be the run where he takes the lead and blows big fire at the end? Yeah. That's from
Chandler's camera right up there up top. So that's pretty cool to show that. The games are up, people, at full pull for the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals. I know it's not an outlaw event, but you get $1,000 play money. Whoever does the best with their play money wins real money. So head over to fullpull.us, either on the app or the web store. 4 classes: pros, semis, mods, and minis. So those are up. They launched that yesterday, is what I've been told. So
that's for the Pullers Championship?
That is for the Mac Trailer Winter Nationals, Saturday, March 23rd. Yep.
Gotcha.
The Haugs ran points with Outlaw last year, but on like a selected limited schedule, right?
Yeah, I don't think they followed any one particular series. They like to pull with us. They like to pull with the Western Series and PPL. Good guys.
Oh, awesome guys. It'd be pretty cool to see them full-time, full schedule, because, man, 2 beautiful pieces of equipment that can win at the drop of a hat.
I love the old case tractors too. So
yeah.
Dan Christensen checking in. And there's our points winner, 4-wheel drive. There'll be 3 trucks in that stable this year.
What's
Ford,
their third
Chevy,
one?
and a Dodge, and all of them running the same motors.
Built or bought?
They bought the Ramrod. I think they got it out of Tennessee. They pulled it last year, made a test hook at Bedford there at the end of the season. And it's going to be a handful. It's going to be a good runner. So Thornton boys are coming loaded for bear this year.
What are Claypool's doing with their second truck, the one with the wedge motor in it? I'd heard that maybe something was happening. I don't know what I'd heard, but I'd heard that maybe something was happening. If it was getting revitalized, or I don't know. Was there anything going on with it?
You know, I really don't know what's happening with that.
Me neither.
I saw it for sale at one point, I think, but I'm not sure if it's still for sale or not. But
maybe
yeah,
that's
I don't
what I
know.
was thinking.
Don't know as far as what's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not having a lot to talk about tonight. We went for an hour and 48 minutes, guys. That's what happens when the 3 of us get on here. So
You're about right. You're about right.
Murray says he can't wait. So
that thing was a bullet this year. I mean, it won a points championship and it finished top 3 at the farm show. And I still feel like it's still not even being talked about in the grand world of pulling as much as it should. That thing is a screamer. Like when I watched it run a couple times and it became so evident at the farm show, that thing can build some speed. That is a bullet of a truck.
You know, our other Ford 4-wheel drive guys, I talked to them at where did I talk to him? He was at the farm show actually. they're coming out with a new motor. They've got a new motor, Ford motor they're building. Well, it's been built down in Missouri, down in Bolivar. I can't remember the engine builder's name, but but yeah, there'll be a Ford-powered Ford out there this year anyway. When everybody's going to the truck pull engine, the Sonny Leonard truck pull motor.
Sonny Leonard Hemis.
Your Ford guys, a lot of them, it's hard to pull them away from that Ford Hemi and put them in a Sonny Leonard motor.
The
We have a new
Ford-powered
fan
Ford.
here, Jason.
What's that, bud?
Do we have a new pulling fan here?
Ooh, Carol Clark Anna. Hi, stalker, Carol. You're not even a real person.
A
You're
dare.
probably
That's the county
probably
straight
live in
north of me. The
in
county
India.
straight north
You're
of
trying to
Macon
get the last
County is
four,
Adair County. What's going on here? We've got some geographical confusion here. That's not even the county I live in. Weird, though. Funny coincidence.
Murray
Is
Thornton
this-
says Dave Campbell was the engine builder that I couldn't think of the name there out of Oliver. Tom Michelle says Bamber. No, it's not Bamber.
And Tom
Dave
Mitchell
Campbell.
says Bamber.
I think
not.
I think Campbell used to work for Bamber. If I think that's right. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong about something. So. Well, guys, you want to put a fork in it here? I mean, we could go for a marathon here.
We're 2/7 to the Wisner show.
Just stay live
got-
all night.
Just on Saturday night, Michael.
At this point, let's just keep Jason on. This way I can give Jason a hard time for being tired tomorrow.
It's all good, buddy. I'm tired every single day of my life. So
I'm learning that, but I'm learning
Funny it
that
doesn't
you know
show.
what? You keep going, it's worth it, and you make the most of what you can with every moment you have.
I'd like to thank Coltrane Energy for keeping me awake every day.
The sugar-free. You're a sugar-free aficionado, I noticed.
Yeah, I drink 2 or 3 a day. So
I have that's the one and only flavor I haven't tried. I'm an original kind of guy. The original, it is.
I've been dropping off a bunch of samples up here in Wisconsin at gas stations trying to get them some momentum, and I got some. I keep sugar free in my car, and I've been taking out cards and stuff like that. So
Speaking of Ford-powered Ford pulling trucks, that's a Ford Hemi in that one, Tim Skelton. And he went all season without letting out a secret. He had a mountain motor in that thing.
He told I felt so cool. He told my dad this Thursday night at Wisner, and he goes, "But don't tell Ron, because Ron keeps telling everyone that I'm pulling 650, and it makes it sound a whole lot cooler. But no, I've got the big boy motor in this one." So he let that one slip Thursday night. But I don't know if that's what he's going to stay with. I don't know if it's going to stay a mountain motor or not.
Well,
he was watching a bit ago. I don't know if he'll comment or not.
Yeah, I think they're planning on going back and doing some pulling with NTPA this year, which they're mandated, 650 or less.
He told me that the mountain motor was just it's a lot of motor. It's a beast to be tamed, and sometimes with that 650 you can put it to the track a little bit better.
Yeah, the Rock, they always find a way to get that thing glued to the track. That thing is a beast. Is Coltrane available in Kansas, Jason Schultz?
So right now, I think it's just in stores in Missouri right now that I know of. That's why I really push Coltrane.com. They're looking for distributors, and that energy drink market, you guys, is very, very, very competitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's their biggest, I'm not going to say struggle, but challenge. They're a startup. They launched about a year ago at this time, Ron. I think we had them on one of your podcasts for the first time and talked about everything. So, but I know their online sales have picked up, and quite a few people tried it down to Farm Show, Mike, when they stopped by to see us. So that was fun. So,
Did you get the picture I sent you of the Amish guys getting some Coltrane Energy, Jason?
I did. I thought that was funny as all hell. I did.
No,
Well, cool.
I think, yeah.
I'm ready to wrap it up,
you know,
guys.
they'll continue to build support, and the pulling community kind of rallies around their sponsors, you know. So
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one to look out for this year, as well as the Thermal Thunder.
Patches. Yeah.
Oh, was there any adjustments on the rule of that? I know I talked to him somewhere, and he said he made this exhibition pass at Wisner kind of with the intent of showing people with it tuned up, you know, as high as it could or whatever he tuned it up to, that he felt it would still be well within the competitive market of his people he's running against. Are they going to let him turn that thing up a little bit more this year?
Yes, they're actually dynoing right now. And it's kind of, that rule is kind of in limbo right now to figure out where I think they're going to set that at. So that's why they're dynoing right now is not necessarily for their own purposes, but it's also for rules purposes.
Yeah.
On the horsepower ratings of those twin turbines.
People love variety, and in a world where we're seeing so many 4-engine mods, 3-engine mods, if Outlaw can show them the combination of 2-engine, 3-engine, a Rolls-Royce, and the turbines, then that would really give us a lot of good variety in that class.
Who's the camera guy there getting the crowd?
That's what I was wondering. Did we? I've noticed that is one thing I will say about outlawpulling.tv. Every great once in a while, you do notice that someone in the crowd gets a special airtime, and it's usually not hard to figure out why.
Was that Cole Lundahl? That was that camera shot?
No, that would have had to probably been me. Probably not gonna lie.
That was an awful pretty girl down there, Jason. Just saying.
I'm not blind. I mean, it's good for ratings. If you guys know what I'm saying. So.
Well, you come back if you're watching a baseball game on TV. They come back from commercial. They're always focused on some pretty girl in the crowd or something. So nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Give that camera. Yeah. Just say, come on, guys. He knows what he's doing. He does home loans.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, guys, we could shut her down. We could say we went for 2 hours tonight for sure.
I appreciate it. Yeah, this is fun. We had quite a few people watch tonight. We appreciate the comments. The comments are what make it fun. I mean, otherwise, we just sit here and listen to ourselves talk. So, and nobody wants to do that. We want to engage.
Rumors, though, or modifications are our buddy Zook Fukerberg. How's the twin turbo installation coming on the Rolls Royce?
I have a picture of it. It's very, very naked right now. So I have a picture of his chassis pretty much. He just texted me. So
the tractor.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
We don't want to see Zook Fukerberg's chassis.
Yeah, so
Man.
What was the name? Mike, what's the name of that? What's the name of that porno you watched?
Timber.
Big Timber.
Big Timber.
Thunder by. So what came out tonight's podcast? Thunder by the Liver is a new T-shirt for Wisner, and Mike's gonna name his truck Big Timber.
Big Timber.
Big Timber. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in every Tuesday night with us on Outlawed with Ron Stone. We appreciate you being an Outlaw truck and tractor pulling fan, and mostly just a truck and tractor pulling fan. It's great to have you with us. We can't wait for summer, and we'll try to keep you entertained here in these off months as much as we can. If any pullers want to come on and do some chat, and I know Ron will start working on some sponsor stuff here these next couple months, getting some people on. We'll start bringing some promoters on once we get a little closer to the season. But Ravenna, Nebraska, June 7th and 8th was going to kick it off. Last year it got rained out, so I think the crowd will be amped up, Ronald, to get out there. So,
yep. You got orders for T-shirts already here for Thunder by the Liver. Thomas Shell wants one. So
right.
Taking orders now.
Yeah, I better run that by the actual promoter.
Maybe.
Yeah. Bootleg. You're going to be selling bootleg Wisner merchandise.
Right.
All right. Well.
Okay, guys. I'm heading home. So, great show.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Jason. See you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central on Outlawed Live. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a
Hey, those last trophies went out to the modified tractor class. Big thanks to Nutrient Advisors, the class sponsor, and NC Plus on the Thunderbolt Award. And, of course, huge thanks to Pro Polar Tires, based right here in Nebraska, based out of Firth, Nebraska. Their tires are made right here in the United States. The Pro